Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
Hello, Miami Dolphins fans, on this Throwback Thursday. All things Miami Dolphins here on Dolphins Chatter. First, my condolences to the families and victims in Maine. And football, fails in comparison to that, of course, in the serious level. But we're still going to talk about some Miami Dolphins football today and bring back some memories of the good old days of when you guys became Miami Dolphin fans once we start getting some people in here. So a big fins up for you. And yes, the Tyreek Hill news yesterday, breaking that he has a hip injury, is worrisome to say the least, especially since we don't know the long-term status of it. I keep on checking today, but I don't see anything new. So if you guys hear anything new during the show, it would be greatly appreciated if you give us some updates on that front. So anyway, Miami Dolphins Throwback Thursday. My first favorite Miami Dolphins player, I've said many times on here, is a name that may not be a household name among Dolphin fans unless you're my age group. It's A.J. Dewey, who played for the Dolphins back in the late 70s and early 80s and was a really good player. He wore number 77. He went to LSU. His best known game was the 3-interception game against the Jets in the 1982 AFC Championship game, which sent the Dolphins to the Super Bowl, where they would go on to lose to the then Washington Redskins. So that was my first favorite player. Speaking of Throwback Thursday. But of course, right now, we're all hoping that the Dolphins' current team gets healthy, starts beating some teams with winning records. But this week, who cares? We got to beat the team in front of us, and that's the New England Patriots. We're coming fresh off a win of shocking the Buffalo Bills last Sunday. So we don't want to be that team that does not get that win in the game that we're supposed to get. That's like the knock. Oh, the Dolphins only win the games that they should win. But in the NFL, is there really such a thing as a team should win a game? That's good to know. So, and you can see my poll question up there, guys. The poll question is, do you prefer the throwback uniforms over the current uniforms? End of the day, does it matter at the outcome of a game? No, but just from a visual, yeah, I'm just curious on where you guys stand. If you like the old throwback logo or the current logo, and where you stand right there. Hey, good to see you back, Crazy Dolphin. Fins up to you. Thank you for coming in and making this show fun to talk Miami Dolphins football. I'm sure you're like me, worried about the Tyreek Hill injury, worried about the injury along the offensive line. But on the flip side, it looks like we're going to be getting some defensive pieces back. Ramsey's going to be back sooner than later. Nick Needham's going to be back. He's already on the active roster. Now, whether he plays or he's listed as inactive this week, that's to be seen. But as of right now, he is, on the active roster after having his 21-day window open a couple weeks ago. He fit in that window, and now he is on the active roster. So he should be a welcome addition. He's really good in the slot, so that should help us on that front. Hey, Hooked Up Joe. Good morning, Hooked Up Joe. Good morning. With our coaches, we will be fine. I hope you're right, Crazy Dolphin, because the hip injury does worry me a little bit, and the fact that Tyreek Hill is such a huge, I think I got enough huge in there, part of our offense. it is a little disheartening when you hear that he's a little banged up. But we will see. We got to win no matter what. You're going to have injuries in football. They're just starting to mount up a little bit for the Dolphins. But like I say, on the flip side, we got a little guy mounting up coming back for the Dolphins. So we will see if that can wash each other out. And I do believe our offense can still, perform and do okay, but it is a little worrying. So Hooked Up Joe, Crazy Dolphin says good morning to you as well. Let's see. Tua to Hill is fourth NFL and going to primary. Hey, there you go. Tua to Hill is fourth NFL and going to primary receiver. Tua to is 10th. Tua. Hey, well, yeah, we don't rely on him too much, maybe, but we do. He is our big playmaker. Almost all the big plays, now that A chain. See, old names are hard to get out of the brain. A-Chan, he was a big playmaker. Moser I'm not too worried about Moser because he's been on the injury report every week this season. So I'm hoping his ankle injury is not something new and that's going to keep him out because he's one of our playmakers. So yes, you're right. It's not that we go to the hill too much, but he's the big playmaker that takes it to the house the most. Outside of when A-Chan was playing, he's the guy that get it in his hands and he can make a 10-yard play into a 40-yard play. So that's what I'm talking about. Not so much the reliability on throwing to him only, but to him being the big playmaker, making drives a lot easier than having to go 10 yards, 10 yards, 10 yards. Having that big 40, 50-yard play in the drive is a big help to keep it flowing. He is our big play guy, but talking option, we sure want him back ASAP. Just not lost without him. Yeah, no, you're right. We're not lost without him, but heck, I do want him in there. But good morning to you, Back It Up Bins podcast. Thank you for joining us here this morning on Throwback Thursday. As you guys can see, I got the poll up there on what uniforms are preferred, the throwbacks or the current ones. My actually favorite is not even this one. Mine's like the Dan Marino era is best to describe it, the 1980s logo, because that's what I grew up with. But like I said earlier, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. They could wear, no logo on their helmet at all, like Penn State, and go out there and they win the Super Bowl. I think we all love the white plain helmet. So, it's just how it goes, but for the most part, I do prefer the old throwback. Yeah, me too. Back it up. Definitely. That's one thing I wish Ross had never messed around with. Seems like the players are not happy with the team's decision or whoever. The coach, because McDaniel doesn't seem happy with it about the HBO sold Hard Knocks coming. And, Tua didn't seem happy with it. He said, but he knows it's not about him. It's about the overall of a team. But then some other, Xavier Howard didn't seem happy about it. McDaniel, you could tell, was not happy about it. So who knows? At the end of the day, is it going to make a difference whether the Dolphins win or lose? I just rather not have the added distraction to the team. But hey, at the end of the day, they're pros. They're going to have to cope, and they're just going to have to deal with it. But it stinks that it's like starting the Kansas City week from what evidently that's when the crews are going to be filming their every move. So we shall see how that goes. Do I think it's going to be the difference whether we make the playoffs or not? No, but it is probably a distraction. But like I said, they're pros. They can get over it. And hey, I'm probably going to watch Hard Knocks for the first time ever because they're in it. And so I'm not going to be big phony saying, oh, I don't want it, and then secretly watch it. I am probably going to watch it, but hey, it's what it is. Look at the Eagles, Chiefs, and 49ers, their injuries and how they make adjustments. No, you're right. I mean, you have to. There's no excuses. I mean, hell, the Dolphins last year, we lost Tua, and so we're dealt with our own, and we just never get over that hump once we lose some of our guys. It just seems like that it stinks. But do I believe that we can beat New England this week? Yes. But man, I hope Tyreek really is because man, come on, that's like made for TV, Tyreek Hill going against the Chiefs, So hopefully the hip injury is nothing too serious. Tua said we will see Hill down the line, which down the line tomorrow, down the line next week, down the line in the way later in the season. That's all to be determined, it seems. I would love if it just comes out and it's like he's already practicing now. It's just like we were all worried about nothing. A new logo that looks more like the old logo would be cool nonetheless. Yes, I agree. There you go. Fins up on that. But yeah, I mean, you're right, Crazy Dolphin. Back to your comment is we got to adjust. There's no excuses in the NFL. No one's going to pity the Dolphins because they've lost a lot of their players. It doesn't matter. You have to win with the people you have playing that week. And that's what good football teams do. If not, then Chris Greer hasn't done his job amassing this roster, shaping it together if we're going to fall because some of our frontline players get hurt. Any team's going to take a step back. Let's face it. You're not going to have all pro backups at every damn position in the football field. So you are right, 100%. So let's see. This will be a real test of the team. Hill is a tough guy. He comes out hurt and comes back. If there's little to no long-term risks, he will be in the game. No, I believe that. Because he believe, go get hydrated, come back in the game. He will walk off the field for a couple of plays, shaking off whatever he has, come back in the game. So let's see what this is. Anything of it may hurt his personal quest more than it would hurt the Dolphins. I know his personal goal is to have like a 2,000, be the first player ever to have a 2,000-yard receiving season, and his secondary goal is to break Calvin Johnson's yardage record, which of course if he gets 2,000 he would break the record. But so his personal goal may be getting hurt if he's not playing this week, because it'd be one game out of the one game off the slate for him. Let's see. He always a tough guy. Yes, but cautiously with the Patriots. Yeah, that's I just hope the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins. That's the one thing McDaniel he will do. He will not overlook teams like I don't think most teams overlook, but yes, some teams sometime overlook teams in the sense that they lose. But is it really because they're overlooking, or it's just they just didn't bring their A game that game, not because of who they were playing? It's just because it happens in football. You're not always going to have your best game every week of the NFL season. But so far, McDaniel and the Dolphins have proven, especially at home, that they can beat the teams that they're supposed to beat. And that's kind of a mark of a good team, in my opinion, because you can't be a good team if you're losing games that you're supposed to win. So, so it's like, to me, it's kind of a silly phase. Like, oh, they're only beating the teams that aren't that great that they're supposed to beat. Well, it really wouldn't be good if they lost to those teams. And it was a good meme going around out there. Hey, good morning, New Feeling and Scotty. Good morning to the both of you. A big fins up to you. Thank you for dropping in. But like I said, it's silly. And yesterday it was like a meme going around, like Buffalo fans saying, oh, the Dolphins haven't beaten anyone. And then they're like, well, who are the Bills? And that the Dolphins are bad. There's a moral to the story. Oh, the Dolphins are bad. And then Bills fans like, you got to, and then, well, who have you beat? Well, we beat the Dolphins. Oh, so you're saying the Dolphins. So it was funny. You would have to see it better, but it was good. It got a whole bunch of play. And then it just showed basically, them having no comeback to that. But as much as we're 7 games into a 17-game schedule. And yes, as much as we love to overreact, I'm a fan too. I overreact not only every game, probably every play. But in the big scheme of things, as McDaniel says every week, this is just 1/17 of the schedule each week. So that's how he breaks it down. So this week, we were 0-1 this past week. So this week we're trying to become 1-0. And that's how he breaks down the schedule when I've seen him talk in the past. So that's it. That game's done. We were 0-1 last week, but this week we got to be 1-0. Get that win over the Patriots. And everyone, all you guys are saying hello to each other. I love that when you guys come in here and you guys are super with each other, super with me, especially on the days I fly solo. Oh, let's see. Hill really won't count unless it does in 16. That's just the type of competitor he is. No, you're right, man. He is definitely a competitor, and he's going to want to be out there. Just look at Ramsey. He's a competitor, and he's coming back way before a lot of people thought. It would be interesting to see if he's activated this week. As of yet, he isn't. Needham is going to be activated. Like I say, now is he going to be on the inactive list for this week as they get him ready, or is he going to roll with the team and be ready to play? But he is on the roster now, so we're getting some replacements back there in the defense, which should help the whole defensive front too, man. Because if your defensive backs can cover for an extra couple seconds, because the Dolphins are up there in the top and getting pressures and hits on the quarterbacks, but those hits can become sacks, and that's a big difference. And maybe Scotty can get his 15 for 15 yet. We may get there yet, Scotty, if that all starts coming into play. Home division game. Yes, you are right, Scotty. I know people would say, "Oh, it's just New England." There's no such thing as that, because when the mathematic little nerds at the end of the season and the computers all calculate what games are more important, let's face it, beating the Patriots is more important than beating the Eagles. Now, from a media hype standpoint and the narrative of the Dolphins can't beat a good team, then of course, yeah, beating a good team's more important. But when it comes down to tiebreakers at the end of the year, head to head, division record, conference record, those are all up there on the top of the list until you start getting into points differential and all that different stuff. But those are the three of the big ones up there. So it is very important that we beat New England this week, without a doubt. I love that, Scotty, coming from you. I think so. He is so close so many times, and then he got his sack. And we know he was held on that play, but no flag. But I don't care about that. But I'm just saying he was held on that play, and he still got to the quarterback. So he is starting to get there, man. And then you get Ramsey back there. You get Needham. Just a split second more better coverage where the quarterback's looking and no one's open. That quarterback hit becomes a quarterback sack. That quarterback pressure may become a quarterback hit that makes him throw a bad throw or something. So we're getting there on the defensive side. I actually thought they played okay, but if you look at the score and the Eagles got 31 and they could have pushed it in for the final touchdown if they wanted to at that point and put up 38. But the defense at least started making some plays, and then they just tired out or whatever. So I'm not saying they played great. They gave up 31 points. So, but they did create some turnovers, which they hadn't done for like 3 weeks in a row. They hadn't created a turnover. So they created a couple turnovers that game, which kept us in the game. We're just going to get our offense going, really going that game. But we had three backup offensive linemen going against one of the best defensive line we've faced this year. Good morning, Steve. And yes, Steve, I like you because you always remind me, but please hit that fins up, what they call thumbs up here button for me. I know you guys are already team members, so I don't have to tell you to hit that subscribe button because you guys all rock. But yeah, so going back to more, I would like to see where you guys became. I'll tell you the first game I truly remember as a Miami Dolphin fan that where I felt invested was the 1981 playoff game against the then San Diego Chargers, and we lost that game. But it's just the first time I felt like, that hurt. The first, because I had watched some Dolphin game. I grew up a Dolphin fan down here in South Florida, but that game and when we were down 24-0 against the Chargers, David Woodley exits, Don Strock enters. Blah 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 blah. We end up tying the game. Blah 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 blah. We lose in a classic overtime game. That Kellen Winslow was the big story for the Chargers in that game. But that's where I really first became. Then my first favorite player on that era was AJ Dewey. So there you go. That's when I became a Dolphin fan. I know Steve. I know where you were. You went to games during the perfect season. So I know when you've been a Dolphin fan forever. So I don't know where everyone else. Hey, good morning, Justin. That's an answer to be determined. You're not going to replace a Reek, but you can have to have someone play in his spot. That's without a doubt, my friend. And we will find that answer, I guess, soon enough. We will. I know Craycraft is eligible to come back, and I'm not saying Craycraft's going to fill his shoes by any means, but he's eligible to come back. So if Tyreek's just on a couple weeks on the inactive list, that might be the guy that you know replaces a roster spot. But as far as making the big plays, I guess you're going to have Robbie Chosen out there, see what Claypool can do. Hopefully Waddle's still okay because Waddle was dealing with his back issue, but he should be good to go, they said. So that's good because you wouldn't want Waddle and Hill both being out. That would be a big blow for sure. But like Cooked Up Joe said, Tua has thrown the ball around to different targets. But the big play guys that we got spoiled with in the beginning of the season, not having because Hill's definitely a big play guy, as Achan was from the running back spot. Who knows, Justin? I wish I knew. Hey, it's above my pay grade, but they better know because Sunday's coming soon. Today's already the start of the new NFL week. It'd be great if our Sunshine State team over in Tampa on the west side of the Sunshine State here, if they could beat Buffalo tonight. I'm not counting on it, not holding my breath. Don't think it's going to happen. But hey, it would be nice. Wouldn't it be nice if you see like Tampa stuns Buffalo Bills in Buffalo, but I don't see that happening. Buffalo's coming off those couple bad games, and they're going to be probably rocking and rolling tonight on Thursday Night Football up there in Buffalo. But you never know. That's why they play the game. That's why they play the game. You see, that game that hurt me was the time the Washington Redskins and John Riggins, who oh, I know that was bad. And that's when Fulton Walker had a kickoff return, 98 yards. I got to personally meet Fulton Walker when I was a kid because my mom worked with his cousin, yada, yada, yada. But I actually went to Fulton Walker's house in Miami Lakes at the time. That's how long ago. It was way before they were in Davie, way before they're now in Miami Gardens. They would be out of like St. Thomas practicing. And I got to go to Miami Lakes and meet Fulton Walker. And it was really super. But, and may he rest in peace. He died several years ago, but he way before his time. Very nice guy to me. Made a kid's, I was like big eyed at the time, it was awesome. But that when he returned that 98-yard kickoff, I'm like, woo, we're going to win because they had just scored, obviously, because they were kicking off to us. And then we do that right before that. I thought for sure the Dolphins were going to win that Super Bowl, but obviously they did not. And from that game, also crazy Dolphin, not only in the Riggins, like Kim Bocamper. And yes, I went to Kim Bocamper some fan weekend recently. But Kim Bocamper, he almost had his hand on that ball, and Joe Theismann swatted it away. Another point that sticks there. But of course, who can't remember that Riggins? That's crazy. Do you guys want to make a trade at the deadline? I'm all for making the team better. We're all in for this season, so I am all for it. Some of you guys may know specific names better than I do, you know. But as far as you always want the Dolphins, every team you root for, you want them to make. If this is the all-in season that is cracked up to be, what just seems like it is with how the salary cap's structured, we're right up there. This is it. This is the team we have. If you can maneuver around the salary cap, which you can do because we already restructured Sanders' deal to free up to where we have like $3 million in cap space. So you could restructure someone else, free up money for now, push it down the road like they often do, and you could bring in a really good player. Now it just depends. Yeah, I know. I agree with you on those days too, man. Those days too, playing the Steelers and Franco Harris. But yeah, Justin, you bring up a good point. Now, I know you probably know some names you want. I know some people want Derrick Henry. I see his name's been linked to the Buffalo Bills. To me, running back's good, but we have a couple good. I really want to see offensive line or defensive line or linebacker, if anything, out there. But anything that helps the team at the end of the day. They know better than me sitting here as a fan. They know what they need. But to me, the offensive line teams don't tend to. You would have to get him on a team that's not contending, getting a good offensive lineman that's not contending, because no good teams are going to get rid of offensive linemen. I mean, it doesn't happen too often because that is a premium position in today's NFL. You want to protect your quarterback and you want to get running lane. So the offensive line is a critical position. But yeah, I would love. I'm sure there's some linemen out there. I would bring in Leonard Fournette, even though he does not fit Coach McDaniel's scheme. So hey, but I forgot he's just. I wonder if he's just going to retire, or I forgot he's just sitting out there. So after Eagles get Henry and Chiefs get Adams, we sit on our hands. You guys still checking your posts? Oh, Justin, be positive, Mister Justin. It's a throwback Thursday. Remember AJ Dewey? That would bring a smile to your face, Justin. But anyway, but yeah, no, I mean, we're with you, Justin. We want them to make a move, but what move we do not know. I imagine he plays in Germany. I'm hoping anyway. Yes, Newfoundland. That's what I'm thinking, man. That'd be stinky if Tyreek Hill misses the reunion game against the Kansas City Chiefs, just from his own personal standpoint, too. I'm sure he would be raring to go. But like I say, I don't want him to play in a game or two right now if it means hindering him down the road when we start pushing for the playoffs. So that's the main thing. So let's see. He's going to want to play if he's at all capable of playing. Tyreek Hill is going to want to get out there, get those yardage records, and do all of that and help the team win, of course, above all. But that's what he's going to want. Now, whether the team lets him do that, that's to be a different story if they think it's going to hamper him. Because I know Connor Williams, they kind of brought back, and then he got hurt again, and now he's been lost. So I think they have some of that sticking in their head, like they don't want to bring a guy back too soon and then lose him for multiple games. And if you would have just waited maybe one more week. Good morning, Anthony. Let's see. Trent, I see something Scotty says I get to in a minute. Newfoundland, Trent says we get Ramsey, 18, Armstead, Willems. Yeah, my post at 60. So he's saying that he's happy getting those people back. And that is true. That is getting some people back. It's kind of like a trade getting some of those people back. I do agree on that move. But I also understand Trent's views of we need some to take that one extra step. Scotty, there you go. He says get Josie Jewell at inside linebacker. So there's another name out there for you. Let's see. Rob, have they released the candidates the Dolphins are favorites? Nope, nothing there. That's why I was asking you guys. I haven't seen anything. It's it would be leading up right to the trade deadline, I guess, this week. That's when all the rumors broke last year when we made those trades right there at the end. So it'd be very interesting, Anthony, but who knows? I did hear that, Henry could be going to one of the contending teams, but I heard Buffalo, Diggin heard Kansas City. So who knows who's connected to the Dolphins? But I'm more of the offensive lineman or defensive line or linebacker than running back, because we will get a Chan back at some point, hopefully sooner than later. And he was a big impact player at that spot for us. Is he the big bully that Henry is? No, but can he get the job done? Yes. And Moser can get the job done. But of course, any big name, of course, out there. Hey, that's what Chris Greer gets paid the big bucks for. He will determine what we need. I don't know. That's a name. I guess he might be. I don't know. I've been seeing that name connected to the Dolphins. Justin has been calling for that name for Hakeem Hicks. Have been calling for that name, but I don't know. No one's touching him. Maybe he's retired. It's Yeah, no, you are right, Justin. There are lots of injuries league wide right now. That's for sure. Yes, thinking would be like the draft. The best player available on this trade deadline is what hooked up Joe said to Scotty. I know that's what we have to do, man. That's what we have to do. Just supplement the roster because we're good right now. We are. But there's a lot of good teams right now, unfortunately. It's a very, very tough AFC. And like I said yesterday, you may have to win the AFC East to get into the playoffs. I mean, it's very competitive teams out there. I mean, the AFC North is like crazy good. But my only hope is once they start playing each other a lot, they start knocking each other off and their records come down. That's my hope because right now there are a lot of good teams there, and I'm not counting out Cincinnati, but Cincinnati's at 3-3, so they already have some losses, but they're going to start beating some of those teams. They're starting to wake up, it looks like. But that whole division is tough, so I don't want to be like in a wild card race with them. Let's just control this AFC East for once and take a bull by the horn, so to speak. How about this company? Straight Justin Simmons, and hey, if they can pull any of these moves off, and he said Justin Simmons and Josie Jewell, hey, if they can get any of that, any of those guys, it'd be a great boost to the team. And like I said, costs may be prohibitive, and I'm not talking about draft capital or what we would have to get. I'm talking about the money because, from what I'm understanding, the Dolphins have roughly $3 million to. So you can't bring in a guy that has a big fat contract right now, and it's not going to work unless you rework his contract that you trade for and frees up money for this year. So you got to keep things like that in mind because the salary cap may be fake, what people say, but it is a cap during the middle of the season like this, unless you free up. It's flexible. That's the bad. I don't think it's fake, but it is flexible. So yes, you could rework someone's contract, free up some money, and see what you can do on that front. But they've already said they're not reworking Tua's contract and they're not reworking Wilkins' contract until the end of the year. I know things can change on the Wilkins front, maybe, but they said they're not going to rework those until they've been tabled until after the season. So maybe you could rework someone else's contract. I know there's a couple people on there that maybe they can rework and give some money to. Robert Hunt, but he's not even making that much money this year, but they're talking about extending him. Maybe they can free up some bonus somehow. Like you say, they flex that cap to the max potential because they got an owner willing to sign that guaranteed money up front, which pushes money down the road. So we will see. Hey, yes, Steve and said it earlier. Now Justin is saying that please hit that thumbs up. But all you guys always do. I always get good thumbs up from this crew. But just in case there's someone in here that's not normally in here, give me a big old thumbs up. Yeah, I would drop the link. Give me 1 second, Anthony. I dropped the link because as you can see, once again, I'm flying solo today, and it'd be interesting to get some of your guys' takes. Let's see. I was going to say, here it goes, Anthony, but I didn't hit the button. There it goes, Anthony. Now the link is out there for anyone to join and talk Miami Dolphins football because you are watching Dolphins chatter and everything matters, when it's Dolphins chatters. And like I said, I don't know if you saw the beginning of the show. I say football, of course, fell in comparison to all what's going on in Maine and all the events across the world. But I appreciate you guys coming in here to talk Miami Dolphins football because that's what we're about here at. And hey, Anthony is in the house. Good morning, Anthony.
Sorry if you hear my dog snoring. He's sleeping.
That's all right, man. Your dog snores loud, that's for sure. Hey, it's great.
It sounds like a Mack truck.
No, it did. I thought it was a person snoring. It sounds so loud. I mean, that's crazy. So that's cool, though. So how are you doing? How are you doing, Anthony?
I'm doing well. Like for me, I hope this game will get after we lost to a lot of people say this might be a trap game for us. Specifically after we lost to the Eagles, but I'm in the middle. I don't think it's a trap game, and I don't think we're gonna blow out the Patriots like people think we are.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. So I don't know what's gonna happen for me. with this
No,
game.
you're right, Anthony. But yeah, trap game coming off a loss, I really don't see as being the trap game. Now, if you had beaten the Eagles and then we got Kansas City in a couple weeks, then I could say, yeah, it could be. But we just got beat. So I'm agreeing with you. I don't think it's a trap game. And Orville White or Vin White, thank you coming in from Facebook. A big thumbs up to you, Mr. White, for coming in on Facebook. And same with you, John. And I won't even try to pronounce your last name. John on Facebook, you know you where you are. Chris Gurr has been with the team since 07, and we haven't won a playoff game while he's been employed with them. That is true, John. That is fact. He hasn't always been in total charge, but you are 100% correct on that front. Hopefully that changes this year. So, Anthony, what would you like to see the Dolphins make a trade or just stand pat with the guys they have coming back from injury?
I can see why I can understand why people say we have enough talent. It's just the injuries have hurt us. And I've said this. I said this on your previous stream earlier yesterday that it seems like the Dolphins have a history of signing players that already have a horrible injury history and stuff like that. We where they don't have a track record of staying healthy. And Teron Armstead, I think the Teron Armstead thing is finally catching up to us. The guy can't stay healthy, and I've said this, and I think you said it yesterday too, that it's not natural for these guys to be carrying around being that tall and carrying around that much weight.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And Scotty says he doesn't believe there's anything as a divisional trap game, and it's not even think there's a trap game overall. That these teams, fans use it and not us. So I'm reviewing the.
Wait. I disagree with him. There's more trap games in college, not in the pros. That's a concept in the pros, but when you go into college football, is when you see it more.
Yeah, no, that's it. No, there's definitely trap games, and Hooked Up Joe's coming in now. Good morning, Hooked Up Joe.
Hey, Joe, what's up?
What's up? Just saying good morning. Figure I'd join in and chat along.
Yeah. Hey, no. Well, you're all the more the merrier.
And this is not for both of you. Why do you think it's hard specifically for the offensive line and linebacker specifically? Why is it harder to find quality players to be traded? Is it because teams rarely want to trade linemen and linebackers?
Definitely linemen I find are hard because they're hard to find, like you pointed out. It's hard to find big dudes that can carry around that weight and have agility and play the offensive line position. So teams tend to want to hold on to them. They're kind of like that franchise quarterback. Once you got one, you don't really want to let them. Look what we got for Tunso when we let him out the door. We got a ransom return back because you don't normally want to get rid of offensive linemen that, especially the Dolphins, who just can't seem to find offensive linemen recently. So you don't want to let one walk once you finally get one in your locker room.
Can you imagine if we had Tunsil and Armstead on this line?
Hey, that'd be an awesome. That would be awesome. But hey, we got those picks for Tunsil. So you got to look at it there. We got some of those players back. Hey, Crazy Dolphin, how are you?
Hey, Crazy Dolphin.
I was going Dolphin Thursday, Anthony, and I can't see the brother next.
Hooked Up Joe.
The thing about Armstead is if he can stay healthy. I can understand having Armstead and Thompson on the same old line, but the question is, can Armstead stay healthy?
Yeah, no, and Mr. Polk, I've said this with Armstead specifically. The Dolphins knew what they were getting into with him. The guy has had injury history and injury concerns since he got into the league and stuff like that. In his draft year, that was the main concern with him. Could he stay healthy he had those injury concerns in college. He couldn't stay healthy his whole career when he was at Arkansas Pine Bluff. Where did he go to college?
Yeah, no, that's where I think he went. Yeah, I think that's where.
Yeah, no, that's a major concern with Armstead since he came out of college and stuff like that. That the guy couldn't stay. Like he had knee issues. He had multiple knee surgeries in college and stuff like that.
No,
And
and it's come to fruition. He hasn't played one. He hasn't played one whole NFL season his whole career. Unfortunately, the Dolphins knew that when we were signing him to the
besides
big.
the year that the Saints won the Super Bowl is when he stayed healthy the whole year with
Yeah,
Brady. That's the only year he stayed healthy when they won the Super Bowl.
Can I throw in something on the O line?
Yeah.
yeah,
The
no,
the Armstead thing, we knew what we were getting for the rate we were getting it for, and at the
It,
time we had
it,
basically nothing on the
right.
offensive line, and we were out there looking for anything we could get at all. So
right.
we just had to fill that. One other thing on the offensive line is that we've always had the concept, or we're always talking about how we can't draft. No offensive line person we get ever pans out. We don't know how to draft. And I agree to that to a point. But when you draft a player and they don't have any NFL level coaching experience, like the guys we drafted, like Jackson and Eichenberg just doesn't have talent. Bad. And Jackson, I was cussing him out for years too. But when we finally got an offensive coordinator, Frank Smith, that was an offensive line coach, and some other offensive line, and the whole focus is to have a good offensive line so you can run the ball. We went from the
Yeah.
last place all the way to the middle of the pack, and we were rotating offensive linemen like every game. We had a
No,
different
I know it
setup
was.
and pulling people off the street, and still somehow managed. So the
See,
summary is that with our coaching staff, I think that we can get lesser talent than we've had before. And by using scheme, just the fact that we didn't die in the last game tells us we can scheme something with lesser players.
and
And
Joe,
I
and
want to piggyback.
actually, I can blame our player development too. Is I don't think we hire the right people in the player development side in the front office. Also, the front office has to do like I'm not sure if player development works the same way in football when it comes to the front office as you see with baseball, where they actually what is it called? I understand they have a minor league system to
You
develop
know,
these
that's
players
why
as they
in
go,
baseball it's a lot different because, like you said, they have that minor league system. But
and
anyway,
that's
crazy.
what I hope. That's where I was reading an article with this merger with the UFL, the United Football League. The NFL is planning to use it as a cut the middleman out in college football and use that as a developmental system for the
Well,
NFL. Like
well, I
they're
didn't.
getting
Hey, that's cool. Hey, Crazy Dolphin, what do you want to say? I'm sorry, you got cut
Oh,
off a little bit by me. What were you
oh,
saying,
oh,
Crazy Dolphin?
oh no, it's no problem. No, I want to kind of piggyback off what Joe was, because Joe was saying. I will admit that when we went and got Butch Berry, our offensive line took a step up when the
Yes, I
season
agree
started
with
with, and
100%.
and and then when Armstead went down and we brought in what's his name, Kendall Lamb.
Yeah, Kendall
You
Lamb.
know, these guys were playing good. So to me, I think as far as the offensive coordinator go with Butch Berry, I think we have our offensive coordinator, and we got to give him a little more time because he's doing
Offensive line
good.
coach.
He's doing right. Also, not coach. I think he's doing good, and he's going to improve, and so hopefully he can improve to the point where if you do bring in a player off the streets or out of college, that he can help development. And I understand what you're saying, Anthony, about um, um, uh, about having a league where players can be developed. I understand that, and I agree with that. We need that because I've seen all the years I've been watching football. Period. I've watched some good college football players
Right.
fall short because they didn't really. Sometimes they didn't land on the
I,
right
I'll
team
I'll
or they
bring
didn't have
someone
the right.
perfect.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Mr. Polk, I'll bring someone that you probably know of, Maurice Claret. Remember him?
Right, exactly. Right, I remember him. I remember from Ohio
Oh yeah,
State.
there's a lot. Hey,
It's
Scotty,
right
you
here.
got so many good points. I don't even know which one to bring up
Yeah,
first. But Scotty,
yeah,
guys, read
no,
all
and
Scotty's comment.
this is where the like this is why I'm saying I think once that league the league the UFL opens up, that's what's going to happen. I think uh the NFL is going to contact the head of that league and say, could we have can we open up a team in our developmental team to send our practice squad players and our draft like having the assistant general manager, whoever the assistant general manager of the team, be the owner of that team and stuff like that.
Right. So you're not saying it's ever going to get to the point like where it's like MLB where they can draft a kid out of high school and then send him to the minors. You're
No,
just saying
no. Out of high school.
okay, but out of college. So that's what I'm trying
No,
to say.
out of
So
straight out cutting the middleman out is I'm saying drafting these kids out of high school, the top kids out of high school and developing them in their system, and then they can draft the players out of that what is it called, draft the players out of those teams. Like it's a promotional thing. They can, instead of drafting them out of college, you draft them out of the UFL and stuff like that.
I got you. Yeah. No, no,
So
you never know, but that'd be really, hey, that would really turn the whole industry on upside down for sure from what we're
hey,
used to.
Anthony, do you? I'm going to cut you off. Anthony, you mean like in between coming out of college and then going to the NFL? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, no, having
Yeah.
the high school the top the 5-star, the 4-star kids going to those teams and having the NFL developmental system develop them right out of high school, so they don't have to worry about going to college. Because let's be honest, most of these college kids are not going there to get an education. They're just there to play sports.
No, but but see, here's the thing. You don't want to do that because of injuries in the sport of football. You want to have something for these
Fall
players to
back.
fall back on.
So
And
few
having
make
a
it.
good education is a support system in case they get hurt and are not able to play again.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with.
I understand what you're saying. Like college is more of a backup plan and
Yeah,
stuff
no,
like
it
that.
is. And
NFL is the backup plan. College is the plan for 99% of everybody that goes through college football program. And if we end up side cutting that
Not
out,
every top recruit goes into the pros.
another the top recruits, you're right, Anthony. They go to the big schools looking down the road, like, oh, I want to go to Alabama because that's a path to the NFL. But those are few and far between. Is what the normal kid that
Yeah,
just goes.
Ed Reed was talking about the when he got hired at Bethune-Cookman. Actually, he said, "Oh no, it was Dion when he got hired at Jackson State that the the percentage of kids that go into the NFL, the high end recruits, is only 25%. That's even being generous and stuff like that. Like
Yeah, no, that's why I think that system won't happen out of, and it's just too hard.
right,
And
it's not gonna happen right away, is what you're saying.
yeah, it's
What
not
I'm
gonna happen
talking
right
about.
away. And just think about it. I mean, you would have to give an NFL team a whole bunch of draft picks or whatever because you're going to really waste a guy. And then how's the contract work? Because if you give him first round money to a high school kid that needs to be in the minors for all those years, so it's just I think they would have to restructure their whole thing. And
Or
the current
have
system's right. Scotty may be like maybe the NFL can do a little more and work in the
or
college.
having that league be the triple A. The colleges gonna be double A, developing the high school kids, and then once they can
Yeah,
only
well, they would have to figure out some way. I mean, I never say never because I would say never, and then the next thing I know, Anthony just got something that they end up doing. But I just right now, I just don't think
so Mr.
because like
Polk,
and,
who do you
Scotty
and
think?
also
says,
and also not just the development skills, but you got to think about the maturity of some of these kids coming out of high school too. That you want to have them to have the right frame, the right mind frame, and
and
not
the
because
physical frame.
oh yeah,
right,
definitely the
right,
physical.
Yeah,
because
Yeah,
you don't want these kids coming straight out of high school going into NFL type program to develop him, and they're still not mature. Let's just say to stay out of trouble on as far as um
Yeah,
uh it's what's that guy name? Oh my goodness.
Reggie Bush.
Oh, no, not Reggie, but it was a play. It was a guy who came who went to college and he played a defensive back and he was very good. He got into trouble, but he did straighten out once he made it to the NFL. Oh my goodness, I can't think of his name. Y'all
Well, I
go
know
ahead and
one
talk.
guy that never straightened out was that Cecil Collins. Cecil Collins, a running back. He
Yeah, I
never
remember him. I remember.
seen
I
that.
Oh,
remember him.
oh, I think I know who you're talking about. He was drafted by the Giants. I know who you're talking about. Uh, he went to Georgia. He went to Georgia. I know who you're talking
No,
about.
no, 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 no. This not him. My goodness, I can't think of this guy's name.
Is it Denzel Ward?
No, not Denzel Ward. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's
I don't
killing
know.
me.
You guys, I don't know who you're talking about.
This guy either played for the Cardinals or for the Chiefs. He was a defensive back. Oh my goodness, I can't
Did
think
he
of.
play corner or safety?
I think he played safety.
Oh, he played with Buda Baker. He ended up like he got in so
he,
much trouble that they had to like he
he got in a lot of trouble, but then when he made it to the end, when he got into the NFL, he did a 360 and he started actually talking to players in college about straightening up. Oh my
180.
goodness, I can't think of his name. It's on the tip of my tongue.
I know.
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name too. I can see his face. He played strong safety for the Cardinals with Buda Baker. I know who you're talking about.
Oh my goodness.
Do you know
The
who
Honey Badger.
Joe or
His
Justin who
nickname is
sent him?
Honey Badger. Y'all remember the Honey
Oh,
Badger?
Tyrann Mathieu. Tyrann Mathieu.
Right. The Honey Badger.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. He got out a lot of trouble at LSU. He got arrested multiple times in LSU. Then once he got into an NFL system, like an NFL organization, they fixed his character issues and stuff like that. And he wasn't really getting into trouble a lot and
Right,
stuff
but
like that.
Hey,
see that's
welcome, Justin.
okay. Oh, okay.
Hey, what's
Sorry, I just want to welcome someone else came. Hey, Justin, how are you?
Hey,
good, man?
JP.
Hey, what's going on, Justin?
On this morning, everybody on the panel. Rob, what's up? Hey,
Man, it's all good. Fins up to you. How are you out there in Colorado?
not too bad, man. Hanging in there. Getting a little late start in here for this morning, so thought I'd join you guys, have a little talk. So what do you guys think we got going on with this upcoming game? Going out of the last game, man, I wish you wouldn't have went away from the run again. I hate to reiterate from where I left off yesterday, but going back and looking at it, we only ran 12 times, and Mostert started to break some, only got 5 carries. Like, I just don't think he's giving it on shake. If you come out of the game with like 20, 21 carries, then maybe, and you would only average like 3.8 yards a carry or something, then I could see you pass.
JP, since you focus so much in the trenches, why does it seem like the Dolphins, when we draft offensive linemen, is always we don't draft hard-nosed guys. We always draft finesse, like guys who are coming from these spread systems.
I think it's got a lot to do with what they're trying to do on offense, and now that they got Butch Berry, that focus is going to change a little bit now. I heard you guys having a discussion about the offensive line coach, coming in and stepping up his game and making us a running game and a better passing protecting, which is true. All that being said, is there's a player. I heard Anthony touch on this, talking about the player developmental. You have to develop these players. What I do like, I seen, is Robert Jones is being developed into the decent lineman if he's been given the chance. He just had an injury bug. I liked what I've seen from Keon Smith during the preseason. The Aluma Ovave, the center from Arizona State or San Diego State, one of those.
Right.
He looked pretty good, as well as the development goes. It would be nice to start hitting on some of the developmental offensive linemen. And yeah, I agree. We do draft the hard-nosed, gritty, nasty offensive linemen, because that's what I want. And that's probably because of the scheme. But I think it'll change a little bit. If you noticed, when Mike McDaniel does really want to get out of his own way. Like we were running a lot of outside zone scheme. And then it was versus the Patriots back and we're getting ready to play them. Then he hit that inside zone scheme where they had duo blocks at the line and Mostert hit that big run for the touchdown.
A lot of wham blocking, basically.
It's what? No, it was duo.
Oh, I thought you said wham. Wham block.
It was a probably wham trap action with some like double sniffers on it. But at the same point in time, when they opened it up, they had duo blocks going up there. And then Robert Hunt peeled and combo blocked to the next level. But I think that's why we didn't get into the rhythm we wanted to versus the Eagles. And then he went away from it. A way to beat them is you needed to get your offensive linemen going forward and get to the second level to get to the linebackers. If you could do that, then you'll start opening up creases.
So JP, I asked Rob this question, but I need your opinion. Do you think the NFL is going to investigate the suspect refereeing?
No, I do not.
Because
this been going on for Anthony. This been going on for years. Because I like I said, I've been watching football for a long time. And I've seen referees make bad calls year after year after year.
No. And how do you make the face mask call is the one that pissed me off the most? Is the Darius Slade grabbed Cedric Wilson's mask right in front of the referee, and the referee just looked the other way like nothing happened. Like it was right in front of you. How do you not throw the flag?
That one, there was no reason that should be missed because it's not like it was in a crowd of people, a group where all the players are all bunched up and it's hard to maybe see. That should have been seen. But unfortunately, like Crazy Dolphin said, it's been happening for years.
Forever.
And sometimes you just have to hope you're the benefitee of getting it.
And the weird thing is, has that ever happened, guys? Has that ever happened where one team has like 90 yards in penalties and another team has 0 penalties at all? No penalty yards or penalties.
No. I mean, you're 100% right, Anth. I mean, it was bad, but
nobody cares and nobody's gonna feel sorry for us.
Yeah,
how about the Colts? Bro. The Colts got screwed by the referees too. Did you?
Oh, I know that one was terrible, bro. Oh my god, it was so bad.
No, the only way I can see they may make a improvement as far as referee calling is to put referees up in the box. But I doubt if they'll do that where they can overlook.
Someone said this on Twitter. The only way that happens. If a superstar player like a Patrick Mahomes calls out these referees and stuff like a guy like Patrick Mahomes or an Aaron Rodgers says something that these referees need to be called out, like be fined and taken their privileges of refereeing the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship or the playoffs. Like there has to be an incentive for these guys not to screw up calls like this.
So coming out of that Eagles game, I'll be honest, I think the defense is starting to come around a little bit. They're starting to win a little bit of one-on-ones. They have a little bit of communication issues going on the back end still. I wish we had a better.
And that's what I meant to ask you. It seems that our trenches in general, both defense and offensive line, are very finesse.
Yeah, that's the problem right there. It's all line of scrimmage, man. You got to get more stout at the point of attack, and that goes on offensive line and that goes on defensive line. You got to have guys who on defense are block beaters. They stack and shed at the point of attack real fast. They use their hands very violently. You need that at the point of attack better.
Hook up, Joe. I'm sorry I've kept you quiet there. I saw you're starting to talk a couple times. What were you going to say?
I was gonna just back him up on that about the God, man, I just
the referees.
Yeah, the ref play was definitely jaw dropping there. But he was talking about our defense holding up. I thought our defense did great in the Philly game. The Eagles have maybe first, second offensive line, and our defensive line. I mean, considering who they were. I mean, especially with our, with our DBs out, our cornerbacks.
I'm happy. I'm not the only one.
I was happy with it.
I wasn't happy with the back end part of it, the coverage part of it.
Well, of course not, because of who we're listening.
Coverage has been bad all year, unfortunately.
And Joe, you brought up something that actually was my next point too. Like people forget we were tied going into that game. The blowout didn't happen until the fourth quarter. Like
somewhere in the
held our
third
own.
quarter is when we lost control of the game, and I think I think I know why, but I don't know because I'm not a coach, and I don't coach in the NFL, and I don't get paid by the Dolphins, but I do have an inclination of why I think it happened. You got to show more, like, and I know they might not have the personnel, or that's not their style, or they don't run that. That's not football. When people line up and they're like, hey, we're here to play you all day. Like I said yesterday, you got to just line up, and they know you're going to run, and you just got to take it to them, and you got to run. Give me a half a block.
Scotty was saying that they were manhandling our in defense. I mean,
then you got to go I formation, pull a fullback up there, and use Ingold for what he's good at, and have him block somebody. Go put in 2 tight ends and use them to block. Go, that's what you got to. That's what they were doing, but Chris Brooks got hurt. Look, they were using him the same way, using him to motion. Go ahead and slap someone.
We got 2 rookie running backs that were playing well this year. One drafted, one undrafted.
And now both are hurt.
And then both are hurt. That's so Dolphins, unfortunately.
Bro,
I know
look
all
at
teams have,
just remember,
like every time you get a little something fun and a lot to look forward to, just poof, injury happens.
You remember me uttering during the training camp and all the summer? I'm like, listen, the only problem I have with what we got right now, especially on the offensive line, is it's half of them are hurt. 5 out of the 10 offensive linemen we have injury history and are hurt all the time. 5 out of 10. That's half.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay, welcome to the show, Jay. If you haven't done so already, give a big thumbs up, Jay. Thank you for.
So that's a big gamble on your offensive line staying healthy and complete and having continuity all year when half of them are hurt all the time. That's why you need as many guns many bullets as you can put in the gun right there at offensive line. You need them.
Yeah, no, we were razor thin because our offensive line was playing better than expected to start the season, but we knew we were razor thin depth-wise, and then a couple people start getting hurt, and then here we are right back. I'm not expecting all pros at the back.
How much would you guys give up for Michael Onuwasu from the Patriots?
Well, the problem with that is it's an interconference trade, and the Patriots probably don't happen very often.
Yeah. They're basically in a rebuild mode,
whatever they can do to lose.
Here's the thing: the Patriots, from the history I've seen with the Patriots, they definitely do not want to be making trades like that with us because
they won't do it.
We're in the same division.
Now, when the Dolphins, if you're talking Dolphins trading stuff away to other conference rivals, they'll do that.
It's different.
Wes Welker.
Exactly. Wes Welker, there's quite a few of them.
How about going to the Colts and seeing if you think the Colts would give us a Quentin Nelson?
Oh my God! Now you're talking my dreams. Yeah, you want your problem solved at left guard. When I scouted him, I was like, he should be the first round pick off the board, all that stuff. I was banging the table for Quentin Williams. Same way I was banging the table for Garrett Bradbury, a center. I've been doing that for the last 5 years.
How about Quinn? Would you get?
Oh, yeah. Love me some Quinn Miners, bro, from the Broncos. I'm down for that. Some Josie Jewell, Miners. You know who I really like for them? No one's talking about him.
Garrett
Zach Allen, number 99. Zach Allen, former Boston College 3-tech. He's stout at the point of attack. He'd mix real good with some Sealer and some Wilkins. Yeah. So you need that. That's the kind of players you need at the line of scrimmage. You need guys like that, dude. Quinn Miners, Zach Allens, guys who are just gritty.
I was saying getting Josie Jewell and Justin Simmons.
And do these guys fit into Fangio's scheme? That y'all mentioned?
Yeah, they'll fit the Fangio scheme. Definitely, I think Josie Jewell will. I'll be honest with you. Does he fit the scheme here? That I know it's really important for the coordinators and the coaches and all, but I think there's sometimes you just got to break the mold.
Yeah,
what I'm talking about is right now. Let me ask you guys a question. How do you expect the Dolphins offense to evolve into what it could be, into this beautiful flower that's going to go take everybody's heart out, right? And right now we even got our petals on the flower yet, right? But how do you expect it to evolve when everybody's changed up to what we did already? I think it would really benefit to have some power mixed in with that track speed. Now you're cooking with fire, dog. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, hey, I need 5 yards right now. It's third down. I need it. Bam, give it to me.
And that's why I kept saying Chris Brooks. You know, with Chris Brooks, you bring him in on third down and short situation, and also when you put them when we in the red zone, that's when you bring them in. Don't
Yes,
maybe once we get in the red zone. Now I know passes sometimes work, but you got a tight
but they don't do
back.
that. But they don't
That's
do
what I'm
that, dude.
saying.
They're throwing screen. They're throwing
It's
flat passes on 3rd and 1,
right.
dog.
It,
You can't
Got to
exactly.
throw
And
have
that's
flat
what
passes
drives
offensive
on
line to
3rd and
smack
1.
it up the middle.
and
We
that's
don't
what
have that.
drives me crazy when you can run the
Really
ball.
makes me mad, bro. On 3rd and 1, I want to line up and run. I told Rob this numerous of times. 3rd and 4, I'm running the ball. 3rd and 6, I'm
Right.
probably tempted to run it.
And then that's when you
Hey,
use a big
guys,
back like
I'm
Chris
almost
Brooks.
at the end of the show here, guys, but I want Jay. He just joined the backstage here. Jay, how are you?
And I got to
What's
run.
up, Jay?
Oh, Joe, wait, hold on. Hooked
Yeah,
up, Joe. Thank
I
you,
just
hooked up,
wanted to
Joe.
say
Thumbs up to you.
Thank you all
just a couple of
thank you
things.
for hosting. Fins up. And thanks everybody for joining. Always a good show. Y'all take
All right,
care.
thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Hookup Joe.
All right, Jay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jay.
All right, I'll try to keep this concise, candid, to the point. For first, New England couldn't care less about trading a player in the division. They traded Drew Bledsoe years ago to the Bills. Bill Belichick is the most arrogant person probably on the face of the planet, up there with someone like Vladimir Putin. This guy doesn't care at all. Okay, now, you know that he don't care. If he thinks he's going to win the trade, he'll do it. That
Right.
guy's bold. Second thing is, New England, I don't believe, is in tank mode. If they win this week, they're only 2 games out of first place in the division. Moreover, I think they've got a 3-1 conference record, or sorry, divisional record. If they beat us this weekend, nothing surprises me with New England. They could
Me
very
neither.
well come in and they could beat us. I'm cognizant of the fact Judon's gone. That's their best edge rusher. Moreover, Gonzalez is gone, but Williams is gone. Armstead's gone. A-Chain's gone. I don't know if Ramsey's going to be in there. I doubt it. I think X will be back. This is going to be a tough
Tyreek
game.
Hill's
I think
gone.
we'll win. Well, we don't. I don't know if that's official. There's, we won't probably know till game time. But that's a good point. He could be gone. So this is an easy game, not an easy game. That's all I want to say.
I'll be honest with you. No one here is saying it is, especially me. I've been talking about it since we lost to the Eagles. I have a good feeling about it. This is where I see the wheels come off all the time on this team. And you know what? You're getting right to my point. What I want to speak about anyway is what a time to go ahead and change and draw a line in the sand and be like, you know what? We're flash and dash with a bunch of cash at the end of it with long plays. Now we're going to become muddy and gritty and pound you till you just can't move into submission no more. And you need to start pounding the rock. You got to change it up now. When they're going to zig, you zag. When they're going to play you deep, you run. When they're going to play you in the box, you throw over the top. And you got to stop playing into their hands. You got to stop doing it. Even though you're like so tempted to throw it around, you're like, because even in that Eagles game, like Anthony pointed out, we were in the game, dude, into the 3rd quarter. You just got to play it more tight to your chest and be like, you know what? Even if you stop us on this drive, I'm gonna live. I'm gonna live to fight another set of series. I'm gonna punt it away to you. I'm gonna get the ball back, and then I'm gonna take my shot. And how you do that is you got to set up the plays. You got to run, have some run action, then like have naked bootleg with some flood concept off of it, but then have him reverse it in the middle of the field or like a bang 8, something double move. And you can make it work, but you got to call the right plays. And it's about calling the right plays at the right time. When you need to run, you need to run. You can't just wing it around and hope on a prayer on a wing I'm going to throw it up there and hope it comes down. They come down with it. That's not going to work, bro. Everybody's got on to what this team is doing.
Exactly.
Let me ask you a question. When all the window dressing and all the motion, Joe orbit, all that stuff doesn't work and a defense stays pat and they don't bite on it, now what are you going to do?
No, you're right. Maybe we do got to do different things, and it still works at times. But man, when teams don't send them in motion, it's just tough. But
you know how you'd really surprise teams?
He'll come up with some stuff.
You really surprise teams by showing them, hey, don't even show them no motion, no action. Just everybody line up and just take it to them. Then they'd be like, whoa, what are they doing? Next thing you know, you're getting all these high 3rd down percentages because you're moving the chains. And then, like I just said, when they come into the box, they start showing you they're going to blitz. Dude, look at the numbers right now. You blitz Tua, he's eating it up, bro. He'll eat you. So blitz him. We want you to blitz him. That way we could dump it. And I think they really need to start, like, in practice, working with them. And it's because we don't have our offensive line in there that's all regular starters in the continuity. I get that. But they even need to get the backups trying to do this, is get the timing right so they can start sneaking in these screens. And then when a team wants to blitz Tua to death and, like, we're coming after your quarterback, slip a screen in there. That'll keep them honest. So if you don't want to run the ball, then you need to screen the ball. Do you understand what I'm saying here? This is all football philosophy.
Change up.
But Jay, real quick, I know you just got in here, but you did bring up a good point. I don't think the Dolphins are looking past the Patriots. I know as a fan, I'm not looking past the Patriots.
Me neither.
You haven't even heard me talk about the Germany game coming up in a couple of weeks, because the Patriots would smack you in the nose if you give them the chance. Just ask the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. So, you know.
And they're going to come in here and approach this game.
It was a tight game up there on Sunday Night Football.
Dolphins Thursday. They're going to come in here and approach the game like a playoff game, because if they lose, their season's done.
Yep,
Their whole season's done with 9 games to go. Their season is over. So they're going to give everything. So I'm worried about injuries too, more injuries. It's going to be a tough game for us. We're in our retros. That's always good at home, but it's going to be tough.
Bro, just line it up and take it to them. I'm telling you, just run the ball like you did last time when you started going outside zone scheme runs, and then you switched it up and you're like, let's see what they do with a power look. And you did inside zone with the duo action, like I just talked about, and Mostert broke it for 40 yards and scored off of it. That's what you got to do to teams that are beating you up at the line of scrimmage. And guess what? If you come up there and they stuff you, okay, cool. Next play. Now let's do a toss crack to the outside and see if you can defend that. Or have a jet.
Though, that New England, I agree, though. Belichick, as much as we don't like the man, he's going to come in here, like Jay says, he has a big ego, and he hears all the talk about how he's never beaten Tua when Tua's the starter for the Dolphins. So he's hearing that, and, you know, at least Tua brushes it off every time he gets asked it, saying, listen, this is we're a football team. I just happen to be the quarterback when we beat them. But you know, Belichick's hearing, he can't beat Tua. So he's coming in. There's no tanking this week if they're really tanking out there. And they're going to come in ready to play. And I'm going to be at the game. I'm hoping it's a good game. It's going to be fun. But I'm not expecting the big blowouts that I got in the other games I've been to.
Oh, no, it won't be a blowout. It'll be within 10, I guarantee. It'll be within 10. 10 points are within.
Yeah.
And I'm quite sure Bill Belichick is looking at the film on Philadelphia, the Philly game and previous game, so that he can plot something, for us, playing down here. So you never can count out Bill Belichick.
I agree. I agree. You know, he may not win the Super Bowls without Brady, but he's still a good coach, and he will come up with a team that makes it. I mean, like you say, all you have to do is look back to last week, and he knocked off the Buffalo Bills. When the Buffalo Bills were already coming off not a great game, so they were trying everything they do to get back to playing good football, and they still got beat by New England. And I mean, there's no give me's in the NFL, but definitely, I think a lot of Dolphin fans are overlooking and saying, we're going to be 6-2 heading into. I'm like, let's get to 6-2 before we say we're 6-2 heading into the Kansas City game. Let's get there first, because I'm happy some of the fans aren't coaches or general managers, because they'd be looking right past this game thinking, all right.
Real quick, I know you're kind of running short on time. Also, don't forget to like that subscribe button and hit that like button. But also, I think when this kind of started, it's going to, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a coach down there. I don't get paid by them. Just an inclination, kind of tea leaves, putting things together, just like last year. But I think when this problem started for us about, hey, they can't win the big games, they can't get physical, definitely was last year versus the Texans. I already said that. That's when we got soft. But, man, when we got in that game versus the Broncos and you didn't kick the field goal for the record, I think this has kind of got – I know it sounds dumb, because it's like, who cares? We had respect. We would have had the record easily. But you just got to start taking it to people and not caring what anybody else says to you. Records, nothing, to just put it on people's throat and never take your foot off the gas. You got to have a killer mentality. Put up the records. Just don't care about what no one says. It's all about like I said from the beginning of the season, it's about the 2023 Miami Dolphins. It's not about anybody else. It's not about the Eagles. It's not about the Chiefs. It's not about the Ravens. It's about us. And if we keep it to just us, we can go out there and really manhandle people. But we got to be all on the same page.
Full throttle.
Full throttle. Absolutely. No holds bars. Everybody out there that's there, we're using. I don't care if you're hurt. If you're hurt, fine. Go sit down. We're going to abuse the next guy up. So that next guy mentality really has to hold over, and you got to hold that dude accountable that's playing the dude next to him. So this is going to the players and to the coaches. It's a come to Jesus meeting this week, is my opinion.
Yeah. Hey, there you go, man. We have to, man. That's very important. Not only is it, the New England Patriots, it's a division game, AFC game, all means more at the end of the season when it comes to tiebreakers. You want to win those games. And
absolutely
you definitely want to win.
One more
definitely
point.
want to win going into the Kansas City game.
Yes.
Get that momentum going. So.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. One more point, too, is like, I know the Eagles, like, to me, I didn't have us slated to win. And I don't want to take any team lightly. Don't take this wrong. But I'm way more, like, worried in the regular season about the AFC opponents than the NFC ones.
Oh, no,
so
for
if you
sure.
were to lose any of the games you were going to lose, I want to lose to the NFC teams. I don't want to lose to any of the AFC opponents. So this is like just like Jay who came in here. Jay is right. This is got a playoff feel to it. It's going to have playoff intensity. So what's that mean you need to pull out? Not flash and dash, but, let's take it to them. Bully ball. Let's be more aggressive. Let's be more physical. Let's set the attitude. Let's have your tone setters come out there and set the tone early.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think that just about wraps it up perfect. I went way long. I always think I'm going to go like a half hour or so, and then I always go an hour. So I'm not even going to say I'm going a half hour anymore. This is great. You guys made it easy to talk. Let's just hope, Jay, that the Dolphins don't take the Patriots lightly, and we'd be okay. We should come out on top if the Dolphins are focused on beating the Patriots.
I'm a little bit, because we got, they're thinking about, we're going to the Deutschland, we're going to Germany. Yeah, I don't want some of these idiot players.
You're talking about Hard Knocks coming in and all of this
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah. Distractions galore.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm for one. I don't want Hard Knocks, but I for one is going to watch it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, so I don't like it actually, but a lot of the players don't like it. Tua himself basically said he didn't like it, but it is what it is, So, but Tua's more of a reserved guy. He's not that guy that wants to be out there, being seen in public and stuff. So. We will see, man. We will see.
He was dealing in that last game, y'all. If he wasn't playing as good as he was, we wouldn't even have been putting nothing around or moving the ball at all. He was making some nice passes.
Oh no, he's Tua's not been the reason we've lost any games. That's for sure.
I agree with that. He's playing.
Yeah,
he's
playing. Not been the reason we've lost. And it's funny that we all agree that we played well. Again, the defense played well against the Eagles, but yet we gave up 31 points. But yet you just felt like they were starting to take a little stride.
How do you take pressure off of him? How do you take the pressure off?
Yeah. Hey, that's it, man. Well, the pressure out. Have good defense. Have good running game.
King Henry, baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just hope Henry doesn't end up in Buffalo. That's the last thing I want to see. Anywhere but
Leonard Fournette.
He's going to end up with the Eagles.
That's a name that's still out there. I don't know if he's just decided to retire or no team's just interested. That's crazy. He's out there still.
No, don't you remember the beginning of the season? He was like, I would want to join the Dolphins. He had interest.
Right. That's why I bring his name up.
Yeah, I'm all for a bigger back like a Leonard Fournette, but if you really want to pique my interest, you just go ahead. Like, man, think about this, dude. If the Eagles go and get Derrick Henry for a 3rd round and a 4th round pick, I'm going to puke and be on a bridge. You guys are going to have to come pull me off a bridge. Because if we got him for a 3rd and a 4th, I'll even give you a 2. Like, we just need someone like that in our backfield. I'd rather have Derrick Henry than Fournette, but I'm for bringing Fournette in if you can't get Derrick.
Well, doesn't he live right in Miami or South Florida, Fournette? He lives right there, I think.
Yeah, probably. So many of these NFL stars do. I don't know why. South Florida.
Well, Derrick Henry is from Florida too now.
What's that?
A lot of them.
I said Derrick Henry is from Florida also.
Yeah, I know. So many of them
Yes,
are.
sir. Let's bring him home, baby. Then we bring home the hardware.
All right, guys. Now I really am leaving. Guys, Jay.
Take it easy, buddy.
JPF Scout, Scotty, Ender, all of you guys that were in here. Joe, Anthony, you guys all rock. Fins up to all of you, and it's been fun.
Great show, bro.
Great show.
Thank you,
Great
Justin.
Show.
Thank you, Crazy Dolphin. That's it. I'm out. Fins
all
up.
Right.
Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, man, he knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know. It's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings.